YouTube, what up, what up? That's Daniel Tellis. Yes, here I am. I'm gonna be candidate for iGCSE Cambridge examinations. So that's the paper 2 extended version for October and November 2018. So that's from series 1. So you can download this paper from Saving My Exams, where I actually found it. So in the description below you can find the link. Alright, and let's see how much it takes for me to take that. Alright, so count the time and let's get started. Okay, so the first question. Carlos Stas works at 21:20 and finishes at 06:15 the next day. So calculate how long it at work. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, just simply put a timeline. That's the starting point, 21:20, and actually what I'm gonna do, I'm just count 40 minutes up to 22, from where actually to 12, 2 hours, 00, that's the starting point for next day, that's 24, right? Okay, and we'll next up to 06:15. So in total, how much we have? We have 2 hours, 6 hours, so 8 hours, 15, and 40 minutes. We've got 8 hours, 55 minutes. All right, damn. So next one, diagram AB equals AC, so isosceles triangle and BN equals NC. So looks like that's bisector. Let's please BC according to theorem. Complete the statement using mathematical term. So triangle ABN to triangle ACN. So basically they are equal, the same, identical, no matter how you call, but the right term is congruent, all right? Congruent in terms of identical triangles, so they're equal. All right, so next one. What type of correlation does the scatter diagram show? So as you can see, that's falling line, and if you put the best line, so the line of best fit, so actually it will work like that. So negative gradient, so negative correlation. So you can say that it's negative. Okay. So work out, give you answer in standard form. So what I'm gonna do, you can use calculator, but I'm not gonna do that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just can factorize 10 to the power 6. So I represent simply 10 to the 6, okay? 10 to the power 6 and just 10 to the power 1. This power 10 to the power 7. And what I have right now, I've got 64, because that's 10 goes to 6.4, it gives 64. And on top of that, I add 9.6. So if you do on a calculator, you'll get basically 73.6 and 10 to the power 6, but it's not the standard form, because for standard form you need to have that notation where a is from 1 to 10, less strictly less than 10. So I'm gonna move decimal point back, so the standard form is going to be 7.36, and hence you need to increase power of 10 by 1, so it's going to be to the power of 7, simply to say it's down. Okay, so next one, expand and simplify. What I'm going to do is just to multiply 3x by 2x by 9, and the same as negative 7 by 2x and negative 7 by 9. So what I'm going to do right now is to perform the action. So I've got 6x squared, then 27x, next negative 14x, and negative 63. So in total, what I'm gonna do, expand. So I expanded now, simplifying. So the final answer is 6x squared, then plus 13x minus 63. I hope it's correct. Okay, that's final answer. Okay, bearings. Problem number 6. The bearings A from B is 227. So just remember about the bearings. It's counted in clockwise, so from north direction. So A from B, so in B you set up north and just set up 227 degrees right there. Find the bearings of B from A. So B from A, so you need to set up the same north direction. Those two lines are going to be parallel, so actually you can put two parallel lines if you're not sure, and that works like parallel lines, and the second line that goes from A to B. So what I'm going to do right now, I know that this is 180 and this is shortcut, so I know this angle is simply 227 minus 227 minus 180. That gives 47 degrees, and as corresponding angle, that's the same. So 47 degrees, and that's going to be the bearings, all right? Hope you understand how it works. All right, let's move next. So 7, y is inversely proportional to x cubed. Once you heard that, you set up k over x cubed, all right? So that's the formula. When x is 2, y is 0.5. So you just plug those values instead of y 0.5 and instead of x is 2, and you got k over 2 cubed is 8. So k is going to be 4. So find y in terms of x. The final formula is going to be 4 over x cubed. All right, that's the final answer. So next one, barrel containing 6,000 milliliters of oil correct to nearest 100 milliliters, okay? Milliliters, and calculate the upper bound for number of bottles she can fill. All right, so what we have the total volume right there, and that's 6,000 milliliters, and we know that each bottle holds exactly 50. So normally we need to, in order to find number of bottles, we just simply arrange the fraction 6,000 over 50 in order to find the quantity. But you need to upper bound because you have some error to nearest 100. So nearest 100 milliliters means plus and minus 50, okay? Because that's the error. So you simply half of 100 milliliters in 2 and you add 50. So you can basically, to estimate the upper bound, you need to use upper bound here and lower bound here in order to get actually the right fraction. So what I'm going to do, I just simply need to upper bound for 6,000 is going to be 6,050 and divide by exactly 50 because there is no lower bound, it exactly correspond to that. Okay, so let's calculate. We've got 121 and that's going to be the right answer for number of bottles. So 121. Let's move next. So Jen invests $800K, rate 3 per year, simple interest. All right, once you heard simple interest, it means that any future value at the account is going to be present value or current value 1 times the number of periods times the rate, where rate expressed as a decimal. So that means percentage, you need to convert into decimal. So you've got rate 3%, you've got initial or present value as 800. So 4 years means n equals 4. And let's see how much we've got. So 800, 1 plus 4 times. So 3% is 300, 0.03 if you convert in decimal. So let's calculate quick. Okay, I've got $896. Okay, that's the right answer. A water tank in the shape cuboid has a length width 1 meter. The water tank is 60. Okay, so calculate the number of liters of water in the tank. So number of liters. So make sure you remember that 1,000 centimeters cube is going to be 1 liter. So it's better to convert into centimeters first. All right, so let's try to see. So 1,500. Okay, sorry, my bad. 150 meters is that side. Then you multiply by the other dimension, which is 1 meter length, so 100. And then you multiply by 60 centimeter. So basically cuboid is strange cube. So in order to find volume, you need to take those 3 dimension A, B, and C and multiply in order to get the volume. So right now we've got volume in centimeters cube, all right? And then we need to divide by 1,000 if we want to convert into liters. So that's going to be the answer. So 150, from 16 times 6. Okay, that's gonna be in liters right now. Okay, so let's calculate it quick. Got everything. And we've got 900. So the answer is 900 liters. Let's move next. So there are first 5 terms in the sequence. Find the next term. All right. So find the difference. That's the common one. So the difference is 3. So that's why the nth term ends according to the formula A1 plus the difference, which is 3 in this case. A1 is right there. Difference times n minus 1. So I use that. That's American style. You can use, guys, whatever you explain by your teachers. So let's say 8 plus 3n minus 3. I expanded brackets. And finally, what I've got, the formula for an is going to be 5 plus 3n. Okay, 5 plus 3n is going to be the answer. Find expression for the nth term. Oh, my bad, that was the second question, so I just literally say I need to move it down. Okay, so the next term is simply plus 3. It's going to be 23. Okay, it's done. Next one. Find the integer values in the satisfying inequality. Of course, you can divide, so there are 2 ways to do. You can divide by 4 and estimate the integers, but what I'm going to do in this case, I just simply say that if I plug by guessing n equals 4, I will get 16, and that's the nearest whole number. So that's why I start counting, so start listing consecutive numbers. So 4, 5, and the last one 6 because, 6 because we have strict inequality. So 6 times 4 will give 24, while if it takes 7 times 4 is 28, but your 4n is going to be less, strictly less than 28. So 4, 5, and 6, that's the right list of whole numbers. So if you want, you can divide. That's another approach. And from there, that's going to be 3 something, probably 375. Yes, if I estimate. So the nearest n starting from 4. Okay, you'll get the same answer. Okay, next one. So you have ABC triangle, C radius 4. Okay, using straight edge means the ruler encompasses only construct a locus of points inside the triangle that are equidistant from BA and BC. So what does it mean? Okay, you need to use straight line encompasses only. What does it mean equidistant? That's the key word. So it means a set of points or locus, right? Locus of points that are the distance, and no matter which point you take, so the distance is going to be the same to segment AB and BC. So typically it's going to be the line that's going to be a bisector, but you need to construct that line using compasses. Okay, what I'm going to do, pretend that you have a compass, so you put the needle right there and just move around in order to get with the radius any within the segment BA, let's say that one, and the same is here. So you like drop the arcs right there, like this. Okay, then you reset up needle, just needle right there, and your needle is here. That's the first position and the second position there, and you gain with the same radius that you fix R here and R here. So you take in from there, turn the move of your compasses and drop the arc here, and if you set up in position 2, you again drop the arc right there. So the intersection point of them gives you the second point for your bisector. The starting point is B. So your bisector, I just choose the green color, is going to be that one. So that's bisector. Construct locus. Yeah, that's going to be bisector that goes through 2 points, and actually if you take any point from that, it's going to be equidistant from BA and from BC segments. That's how it works. Okay, so next one, you need to shade the region inside triangle that is more than 4.6 centimeters from C. Okay, so you're given the arc, which is that one. It's a sector with radius 6.5 and 6.5 over there. Okay, meters. Oh, centimeters. Yeah, my bad. Okay, centimeters. And you need to do what? More than 6.5. So more, it means you need to use dashed lines. Okay, I'm going to use a red one. So more than, from C, more than 6.5 means any points within the rest part of the triangle except for that sector. So that's why you don't include the boundary. So you just use the dashed line, okay? So next one is going to be nearer to BA than to BC. We've got B, let's say K, BK, which is a bisector, because those two angles are going to be the same. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the top half of that region. So that means if I construct the lines, dashed lines, so I would use that boundary. So one more time, up to here. And so any points within the region, now I'm going to shade that, any points within the region, any points within the region, within the shape B, A, let's say D, and another point, let's say L. So right there will satisfy conditions there. So more than 6.5 from C and nearer to BA, so nearer to BA than to BC. So again, the boundary BL and LD is not going to be included, so that's why you need to use dashed lines. All right, so it seems to me it's done, and we'll move next. All right, so without using calculator workout, so you divide in fractions. So first, convert into proper, so 3/8 over, so 4 times 2 is going to be 8, and 9 out of 4. And then when you divide it, you just simply swap or flip the second fraction. Now you can multiply. So 3/8 multiplied by 9 over 4. And when you multiply, you do basically multiplying the tops and the bottoms. Okay. So fraction in the simplest form, what it means that you're going to cancel. So, but how much you can cancel? In this case, so 27, you swap. Oh, my bad. I see that there is no cancel, so I should swap it. Okay, let's do it quick. Yeah. So 3/8 times the flip. Yeah, I said, but didn't do this. All right, and now I see the cancel. So 3 and 9 is going to be 3 in the bottom, and 4 and 8 is going to be 2. So the final answer is going to be 1/6. So I was looking why it's not canceling. That was weird. All right, now it's good. So 15, write a single fraction in simplest form. So that's algebraic fraction, how you need to work out. So you simply need to say, okay, common denominator is 3 times x plus 2, and then use the rule as in proportion. So x plus 2 goes there, so you'll get x minus 5 times x plus 2. So x plus 2 goes there, and 3 times 6 is simply 18. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to expand. So my way of expanding is x squared, then minus 5x and 2x will give us, so I'll write, but I'll do it without writing this expanded form. So I just simply write negative 3x in mentally, okay? And negative 5 times 10 times 2 is negative 10. All right, so plus 18 and over 3 times x plus 2. So the simplest form means they might be canceling, but let's see. So the full top is a quadratic equation minus 13, no, minus 3x and plus 8 over 3x plus 2. Okay, and in order to judge about can we factorize that, I'm going to use discriminant, which is b squared minus 4c, which stays for under the root expression in quadratic formula, so make sure you remember this. So b squared is 9 minus 4 is going to be, oh my, so it's going to be negative, so discriminant is going to be negative, so no any factorizing, so that's why that's the simplest form, and we leave as it is, okay? There is no way to factorize and hence no way to cancel. Okay, it's done. So next one, okay, diagram shows isosceles triangle ABC, so two sides are equal, so that means I immediately can set up x angles the same at the base. So next one, our straight lines, LSM is parallel. So AB and LM straight lines, that means using the theoretical base for two parallel lines and the second line, so like Z shape here, you're gonna say that's gonna be 56 from there. So we need to find x and y angles. You can say that the sum of 2x, two angles, and 56 will give us 180. That's the rule for the sum of the angles. So from where x is going to be, so 180 minus 56 and over basically 2, it's going to be 62 degrees, okay? That stays for x. Okay, about y. So y, when you have segment BN and you have LM, so like this, so you understand if this angle is y, 56 and x together will also be a y. So 56 plus x is going to be y. So y is simply 62 plus 56. It's going to be 118. Okay? Yes. And x is going to be 62 degrees. So that's the answer. Let's move next. So tx times t2 is t10. So x is going to be 8 because look, that what I'm using. When you have the same basis, you simply add the top powers. X plus 2 is going to be 10, so I know just literally say it's 8. You can do it mentally. So simplify, what does it mean? Simplify means you need to use the property for negative, so just simply flip the fraction. So in this case, if you apply this, you'll get x over 4 to the power 2, and that's the right answer. So x over 4 squared. If you want to, you can simplify x squared over 16, so you can consider as the final answer. So next one, in this case it's like, you know, I'm just wondering about why it's not set up like in the brackets. So that's why there's you know, you can consider as a cube b7 divided by the complete a6 b squared. So but I'm not sure, so maybe they intend like this. If they intend like this, so however it's wrong, because actually to notify that you mean like this, you need to put the brackets. So Cambridge works properly, please. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say that if they consider that one, I will use simply a cube b7 over a6 and b2. And right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to b7 minus 7 minus 2 according to again properties of the indices, and simply a3 and a6 will give us a3 in the bottom part. So a3 left in the bottom part, okay, and b7 minus 2 is going to be b5. So I consider that as the final answer if they mean this one, okay? So next one, solve the simultaneous equations. You must, okay, show the workings. All right, so that simultaneous equation, what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply, I'm going to use elimination methods. So I'm going to multiply, I want to kill y, so I'm multiply by 2 both parts and here by 3. So what I've got 4x, then 6y equals negative 24, and then by 3 it's 15x plus 6y is going to be 3, so 42, I guess, right? Then I'm going to subtract from 2 1, so I'm just doing that one, okay? So 2 minus 1, because I see the minus here, so it's better to use positive on the right side. So 15x minus 4x is going to be simply 11x, 6y were cancelled, and 42 minus 24 is going to be 66. Now, obvious x is 6, okay? Now, what about y? So from anywhere you can express y. So just plug x equals 6 in the first equation, and you get 12 plus 3y is negative 12. So y is going to be negative 24 or 3, negative 8. So that's I consider as the final answer. And I move next. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, use quadratic formula to solve. Okay, quadratic formula is about minus b plus minus square root of discriminant, and discriminant is b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, let's set up the right expression for that. So minus 7 plus minus, so 7 squared is 49 minus 11, so will give me plus, and 4 times, so it's going to be 12 times 11, okay? So over 2 over 6, and now just use calculator and just calculate. So let's take the first one. So x1 with the plus sign, so minus 7 plus minus. So actually, guys, I'm going to do in one line, so it's better to do, and let's do. So minus 7 plus minus and 49, 12. Okay, I've got, if I take minus, I've got negative 3.41, so to that 2 decimal place, so that's the result. Okay, what about x2? If you calculate with positive sign, so when you add the square root, you'll get 108 on the calculator. So that's it, and simply you need to write in the answer 108 to 2 decimal place. Okay, so next one, matrices. Okay, we've got a matrix M and find Mn. Okay, so that's a product. In order to find Mn, what are you gonna do? You just write the first matrix, then you multiply by the second one, and the rule that you're doing here, you just take, for example, I highlight, okay? I highlight how it works. So you take in, let's say, the first row, and you multiply by the first column in order to get the very first element, okay? So let's do it quick. So how are you actually doing? So you take in 8 multiplying by 4, and then you take in 2 multiplying by negative 3, so you simply add 2 and multiplying by negative 3. So that what you have as a result, okay? So let's calculate it quick. So 32, okay, 26. I've got 26. So for the second row, for the second, element, you take in still the first row and multiply by the second column. So what you get is 8 times negative 1, so minus 8. And 2, you multiply by 5, you'll get 10. So in total, you'll get 2. Okay, so we move next. So that's 2. So we move next. 7, 3, you multiply by 4 and negative 3. So it's 28 minus 9, which is going to be 19. And you also do the same, 7, 3, multiplying by negative 1 and 5. So you'll get 8 as a result. Okay, that's the matrix Mn as the product. So that's the product rule for matrix multiplication. So find inverse, that's called inverse matrix. Okay, how to calculate inverse? So first you need to calculate determinant of M, because in this case you need to compare with 0, and actually the result is going to be 1 over determinant, okay? 1 over determinant M before the matrix that you're going to swap, elements. So determinant M is not going to be 0. So how to calculate determinant? So you take in 2 long lines, you put the matrix elements right there, and you simply calculate determinant. that's determinant m, as 8 times 3, and you subtract 2 times 7. So that's the way you calculate it for 2 by 2 matrix, okay? For 3 by 3 works a bit different, but you're actually here, we're not supposed to do that. Okay, so 20, 24 minus 14, so determinant is simply 10. So that's why we put, instead of 1 over determinant m, 1 over 10. Okay, and now how to work out the elements, so how to work out elements that stays there. So you take in the initial elements of the matrix, so I'll show you here. So 8, 2, 7 is 3, and what are you going to do? You swap 3 and 8, so you swap them. So you set up 3 and 8, vice versa. And what about 7 and 2? They get negative sign, or basically opposite sign. So negative 2 and negative 7, and you don't swap them. Okay, so that's the final answer, 1 over 10. So you can actually divide each element by 10, but it's not necessarily needed. Okay, let's move next. So 21. He was born, okay, invest some money into account that pay compound interest. Okay, so compound interest, make sure you have this curve, not straight line. So use the graph to find the original amount of money. So it's 20, definitely. So we set up according to the graph. Why? Because number of years hasn't passed, so it's just the starting amount where the graph starts. So number of years it took for original amount to double. So you've got 20, so to double means you need to have 40. So let's go up to intersection. So that's going to be that one, and that's between 12 and 16, so it's 14 years. Okay, so 14 years that you need to wait. So the value of investment up to 54 years. So you're looking for 54 years. It goes up until you have the intersection point with the graph. So it's smooth right there. And you've got 280. So that level corresponds to 280 years. Okay. Value of investment. Sorry, not years, but dollars. Yeah, that's dollars. Okay. So that's dollars. So $280. Let's move next. I separate just big question in order to have the graph. So this account compound interest at rate of R percentage per year. So use your answer to part AK. Write down the equation in terms of R. So you don't have to solve the equation. Okay, you don't need to solve. So how compound interest works? So compounded interest works like future value that you have over some like n periods and in years. In this case, write down equation in terms of R. Okay, anyway, so I'll write the formula. So that's PV is initial amount 1 plus rate that converted into from percentage into actually decimal, so you need to divide by 100 and raise to the power number of years. So that's number of years. Okay, you need to write down the equation in terms of R. Okay, equation in order to define. So we've got present value $20. We know that in 14 years period, so n equals 14, like according to the previous one. So we have double original amount. So that means in 14 years, future value is going to be 40 instead. Okay, we double the amount. So we've got the following equation. So $40 equals to $20 multiplied by 1 plus rate over 100, because rate is as percentage. So n to the raised to the power of 40. You're not supposed to solve, but you know what to do, guys, right? You have 40 over 20, so you got 2 here. Then you express R, so first you express 1 plus R over 100. So basically, I write the final answer right now. So it's 14 square root, so 14th root of 2. Then you need to subtract 1, everything multiplied by 100, and that's how you can get R. So that's your answer. If you want, you can calculate, guys. Okay, next next one. It's not that. So 22, group of 200 people were asked which city would like to visit next. Okay, a table shows the result. So person in the group is chosen at random. Write down the probability the person would like to visit either Paris or Tokyo next year. So either means you always add the probability. So that's probability for Paris and that's probability for Tokyo. Okay, so Tokyo. How you work out probability? Probability is number of successful over a total number of events. In this case, you're choosing the people. So number of people in total, 200 people you said, so that's 200, and then stays for successful. So who travels to Paris? So 48 persons out of 200. Who travels to Tokyo? 46 out of 200. That's probability of each one. So what are you going to do? You just need to add P Paris, because that's scenario what is called either, right? So you consider either. So the way on the tree diagram, so either the first to the Paris or to the second Tokyo, okay? So you need to add them, right? So P Tokyo. Okay, so and you've got 48 plus 46 because common denominator is 200, it's not changing. So 48 and 46, you'll get 94 in total. Okay, that's the right answer. Two people are chosen random from a group of 200. Find the probability that one person would like to visit to London, okay? And the next one, and the other person would like to visit New York next. So first, let's say you got London, that's the first person, and then to New York, okay? How you work out that probability? If you're taking the person from London, you're choosing them. So the probability to London is 50 over 200. Then you grabbed one person. How many people left? In this case, number of total persons actually change because you took one person already. So the denominator is going to be 199, right? And then who travels to New York? 56 people, okay? 56. So what are you going to do with them? Because you want both, you consider them as n. So one person, one probability, you multiply by another probability. But you also might have that the first person you chosen has actually go to New York and the second should go to London, right? So you'll have vice versa. So 56 over 200, so times 50 over 199, because again, you grab one person, be careful. So if you multiply, you'll get the same probability. So they're equal. So what you can do, the total resultant probability is going to be just twice more. So you can write 50 over 200 times 56 over 199. And the result you can multiply by 2 in order to find probability that you're looking for. And then you also need to multiply by 100 because your answer needs to be expressed as a percentage. So that's crucial also. Okay, so let's calculate that. So, okay, I've got 14.1. Okay, so you may write 1407 if you consider it to two decimal place. Okay, that's done. 23. So f from x, g, h. So you're given three functions. H from 3x is k to the power of x. So h from 3x is going to be k to the power of x. You need to find value of k. If you know that h from 3x is going to be that, okay? So let's calculate, or basically write expression h from 3x. So what are you going to do? 3x, you just simply plug instead of x, because now argument is not x, but 3x. So you'll get 3 to the power 3x. How it works? You can say that it's 3 to the power 3 and x externally. So like power in the power. So you'll get 27 to the power of x. So you'll get 27 to the power of x. So hence k is 27. So find the value of x when f(x) is g from 2. Okay, let's try to do. So f from x is 7 plus 3x, that's your f. and that will be equal to g from 2. So g from 2 is simply 2 to the power 4, right? Which is 16. So that's 2 to the power 4. So now you have an equation. You need to find x. Okay, so x is going to be 16 minus 7 and over 3. That's your result. And finally, you can get that answer is 3. Okay, 9 over 3 is 3. Find the inverse. So that's f minus 1 is inverse. So what are you going to do? You just simply need to find expression for f. So if f from x is 7 plus 3x, literally to say you need to make x as the subject. Let's try to do. So basically express x. So if fx is simply y, okay, you can consider as the following: 7 plus 3x equals y. So how to express x? First you express 3x is y minus 7, and that's 3x, and then x is going to be y minus 7 over 3. So that's your final answer, except for now you need to swap. So you need to say that x is going to be inverse, just change the letters, and y is going to be x, because normally you're looking for function from x, and that's your inverse. So you just write in the answer x minus 7 over 3. So do we have more? Oh no, that's the end. So count the time, guys. How much I waste an American person for GCSE basic exam. So that was paper 2. Hopefully, so you need to stick to the same velocity, to the same speed, or actually rate of works. If you can't do that, you're ready for exams. If not, try to get prepared, more practicing, and of course, understanding what actually you need to do. You need to categorize each type of question so that you immediately know what to do, okay? That was Daniel Dallas, a candidate for iGCSE. Peace out.